All right, so I was reading Don't Make Me Think, chapter 12 about accessibility, and it actually made me really wonder
Page 2 of 3. Adjustable.
how I would
Swipe up or down
interact
to select a
with
custom
an app that
action.
I'm currently
Then double
working
tap
on.
to activate.
An app that I'm currently working on called Heyday, especially if I was visually impaired and I use the built-in speech reader on iPhone. So I thought it'd be a cool activity actually to literally go into the app and test it out and
Screen dimmed.
see how accessible it actually is. So you all won't actually be able to see the screen, which will actually simulate pretty well what it would be like interacting with this thing,
Payday.
uh,
Beta.
essentially without
Double tap to open.
essentially without being able to see it. So I'll go ahead and open the app
Heyday. This week.
this week. Okay. So when you open the app,
Messages. Now. Notification. More. Dismiss. Notificate. More.
now
Dismiss.
I'm getting
Activate.
notifications.
52.
Sorry about that. I had a bunch of notifications coming in, and I did not know how to interact with them as a voiceover. But okay, so I just get in Heyday, and it says this week is the only thing it says. So I'm trying to imagine here.
$7,473.
Okay,
March 22nd.
okay. So I can get like my overall balances of all my accounts. I can get the date if I'm just tapping around at the top. So interesting part of Heyday actually, we can zoom in here. Whoa, is this chart at the top, and so I'm wondering how I would actually interact with that. And the answer is I seemingly cannot move the chart
Button.
button. And that's another really bad thing. The buttons for switching the chart view between week, month, 3 month, if I click on them, there's no alt text. It literally just says
Button. 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 Button.
for literally all of them. That's probably not good. Let's see if I can.
Button. Button. Button.
I can't.
Button. Button.
Okay, I can't end up clicking it if I.
Button.
Okay, there's
Button.
another button that just says button.
Page facing up. Upcoming bills. No bills to be paid this week.
Okay, no bills to be paid this week.
Chart with upwards trend. You've earned $0.
Okay.
Chart with downwards trend. You've spent $0, $60.80 remaining.
Okay, so there's a little gap with you've spent $0 and then $60.80 remaining. But okay, so there's a little bit that's working there with like telling users about upcoming bills, how much they're spending, things like that. I'm wondering how to actually like swipe through here.
Chart button. This week. $7,473.11. March 22nd. Button. Button.
Oh, I got
button,
into some sort of mode where it's
button,
just reading
button.
everything.
This week. Plus $0. Opportunities. Chart with upwards trend.
Ooh,
You've
that's
earned
bad.
$0.
Okay.
Chart with downwards trend. You've spent $0, $60.80 remaining. Page facing up. Upcoming bills. No bills to be paid this week. Living button. Start editing living. Jobs button. Start editing job. Bills button. No bills being tracked. Coming soon. Plan your next road trip. Bar crawl. Grad school
Oh, this is
savings
pretty
plan.
bad. Okay.
DoorDash delivery. Clothing haul. Internship. And much more through Heyday. Smiling face with halo. Smiling face with sunglasses. Smiling.
Okay.
Smiling face with halo.
I'm gonna break out of that.
Smiling face with voiceover off.
Voiceover off. Okay. So that was really interesting, actually. So just for a little synopsis of what just happened, if I can get this into view here at all. Okay, that's the best I can do. It looks like. So what happened is it was reading through things, starting with the chart and then down. And then actually we have two tabs on Heyday. So there's kind of like the this week, your situation tab. And then there's like opportunities where it'll eventually in the new update coming out soon, give you a list of like opportunities and things you can add. What the voiceover was doing as it was trying to read top to bottom, it did the chart just fine. It listed off, we have a whole bunch of buttons that have no alt text here. So that needs to be fixed. And then actually it literally read this week, $0, and then actually went immediately to this tab, read opportunities. It's reading it left to right, but it's just not really intuitive because this is kind of its own page and this is kind of its own page. And then it went down, read these different balances. I was fine. Read upcoming bills or no upcoming bills. I was fine. Then it said living button. Then read this text randomly. Then said jobs button. It was basically just all over the place. And it actually never read what living situations you have on here, bills, things like that. Um, so that's kind of a lot of randomness there. I guess the ultimate summary for me, first and foremost, alt text on every single button everywhere. It's pretty bad right now. They all just say button, with a few minor exceptions. Other than that, I think there's some really interesting nuances with how information is read. Um, at a basic level, as it was going down from top to bottom, it was almost like giving me a status report, right, of my finances in an audible way, which is what I would expect if I was someone that couldn't interact with this visually. Um, and just to make that like description more fluent and easier to understand, I think there are a few minor changes I could make to the text to either space out different things, make sure things are read in the right order, so it's not just going straight to the other tab reading things for some reason. I'm wondering how I can maybe separate out the views somehow so that that doesn't happen. Um, and then make like some of the basic text around like what jobs are you tracking, what bills are you tracking, like make that actually read to me. I don't know if that's an issue with me not having alternative text there, or um, if somehow the way that it's being rendered, it's not being picked up by the voice reader. I'd have to look into that. But those are just some really quick hits from the accessibility perspective, and how I could see like this is something that right now is pretty much unusable to someone who's visually impaired, which definitely is something that we don't want to be the case with our app. And so that's something that we need to focus on and we need to prioritize in our development moving forward. So obviously, there's all kinds of other ways that I could look into accessibility on the app. One of those being at a basic level, like color contrast. Um, I don't even need a voiceover or anything to look at this, but I don't know if you can really tell there's just some like clearly uh, there's some clear red flags with color contrast in a few areas. Tabs that aren't labeled, a random other few things that ultimately after reading don't make me think. It kind of made it obvious to me what I already kind of knew to be the case, which is the app is not as accessible as it could be, and that's something that we need to be better about fixing essentially.